Hey guys, welcome to another recap of the amazing race. We're getting so close. Last time, Michael and Louie came in last, but it was a non-elimination leg. Like, you didn't see that one coming. I think they pretty much knew because it was like only one more leg left and it wasn't going to be this one. So, you know what the deal is. They got to do a speed bump. Alright, so they're in Shanghai and they're going to stay in Shanghai this week. They're going to have to go across town and find the Garden Bridge, but the problem is they don't understand what they're saying because they don't speak the English. And even if they do speak the English, they don't call it the Garden Bridge. They call it the Wai Bai Du Chow. So they have to figure out how to convey that to them. So Brent and Katie and the cowboys, they figure it out and they find out the next clue. They have to travel to the Longhua Temple, but you can't take a taxi. So Brent and Katie ended up taking a bus and Jet and Cord took a train, which was cool. But Dan and Jordan, they could not figure out how to find the Garden Bridge. So they waited like hours because they figured they were going to work with Michael and Louie. And even, you know, even though they gave up all those hours, they figured, well, Michael and Louie are going to have to do the speed bump. So we kind of still have an advantage over them. And we just can't do it on our own. So Michael and Louie, being the New York City detectives that they are, thought they could find it with some binoculars, but not the case, not this time. They did find a couple old coats hanging up, though, which were kind of strange, but didn't have anything to do with the race at all. So they finally figured out that they should call this translation service that taxi drivers use. But, little problem there, Michael and Louie, they were in the first taxi and Dan and Jordan were in the second taxi and only Michael and Louie's taxi knew where they were going. So Dan and Jordan started freaking out a little bit because their taxi kind of got separated from Michael and Louie's, but it all turned out okay in the end because they caught up. So, at the temple, it's a roadblock, kids. You gotta count all the gold statues in there. 523 of them. And they looked pretty freaky because each of them were kind of similar, but they had different facial expressions and they were all lined up and it was just all really strange. Alright, so if you get the correct answer, you get the clue, but if you get it wrong, you have to wait 10 minutes before you can make another guess. So Katie got the first guess wrong. She got the second guess wrong. She got the third guess wrong. She finally got it on the fourth try. But Jet, when Jet and Cord got to the temple, they walked right by Brent. He was sitting right there. They could have, like, bumped into him. They were like, "Where? There's their bags. Where are they? Oh, right there? I didn't see them." Alright, so Jet got it on the first try, though, so he made up a little bit of time that they lost in their stupidity of not being able to find the clue. So, also at that location was the speed bump, which was so wussy. I mean, all of the speed bumps this season have been so ridiculously easy. Michael and Louie both had to throw a coin into this giant incense thing. Even though they were spaz about it, it was still pretty easy. So, alright, Dan got the Buddhas on the first try, and Louie got the first guess wrong, but then read the clue and figured it out that it was 523, so they got it on the second try. So after that old debacle was over, they had to choose a motorcycle and ride to Yuyuan Gardens, where there was a detour. Alright, so it's either pork chops or pork dumplings. So pork chops, they had to go to this stone store where they have elaborately engraved stones, stamps, and they had to look for the ones that have a pig with the name of the person on the race on it. In pork dumplings, they had to go to a restaurant and get 10 orders of dumplings and deliver them, but who cares? Because nobody chose that one. Everybody ended up choosing the stamps. Alright, so when they got to the stamp place, Brent had to pee like a racehorse. Why did he need Katie to go to the bathroom? He was like begging her, "Will you please come with me to the bathroom? There's a restaurant right next door. Please, I gotta go." Honey, she had to pee since 8:30 in the morning. Why do the women always have to hold it? I don't know why he needed her. Did he need her to hold it? Or I don't know. I don't know. But she finally went with him and he relieved himself and then they went back to the stamp place. Alright, and Brent revealed TMI, it's big just like everything else. He was referring to his stamp. Okay, so the cowboys were speaking Spanish to their taxi driver because that's all they know. They don't know any Chinese. How could that possibly help? I don't know, but it didn't hurt. So Michael and Louie and Dan and Jordan at the stamp store were both neck and neck. All right, we'll leave you with that cliffhanger. All right, so at Riverside Promenade, that was the pit stop. They had the world's tallest man. It was kind of cool that they had the world's tallest man because at the last leg of the race, they had the world's smallest man. Or person. Alright, Brent and Katie came in first. They won a trip for 2 to coastal Spain, and they're going to be in the finals. As well as Jet and Cord, who came in second place. Now, Dan and Jordan, they finished the task first, and despite the dramatic editing, they ended up coming in third, just like we expected they would. Michael and Louie, unfortunately, came in last place and were eliminated. But they especially liked when they had to share a full-size bed together during the race several times. I hear wedding bells! Just kidding. It's purely a physical relationship. I don't think it's going anywhere. Alright, next week it's the finale. They're going to be scaling new heights and exploring new galaxies. I hope it'll be amazing. Till then, much love.